We are live, PK. Hi, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to the 20th edition of LinkedIn Live. It's been 20 weeks, PK. I
Yeah,
still remember time flies truly. When we
true.
started this, we just started it on an experiment basis to come live every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Couple of episodes we have taken a deviation at 8 p.m. To accommodate a guest. But otherwise, we are back uh, for the 20th time at 9 p.m.
Hmm.
India time. So, for the same reason, it's very appropriate to choose a topic which is not the classical coaching or coaching education or continued learning or the business of coaching or personal branding. All these topics you have done in the past. So, listeners or viewers here, you can go back, check out some of these 20-minute conversations for some reflection, some action on all these topics. So I think it's the first time, PK, right? We are bringing this topic on wellness for coaches.
That
Yeah,
is
we are
true.
not deviating from coaching at the core because this is dedicated to professional coaching. So the first question, PK, is as a professional coach for 10 plus years, also 10 years of consulting and or more than a decade also in corporate. What is wellness for you? First, as a professional coach, and for you personally, what additionally it is different for you? The two questions. Back to you.
Yeah, sure, Subash. Thank you for having me today here. See, wellness is, when we are at ease with our mental, physical, emotional, social, and energy levels or spiritual levels. How is that happening to us, or why is it important? It is so important for any working professional, whether we are in corporate or we are a consultant or we are a coach. But maybe coaches, as coaches, we need to be more aware of this because day in, day out, we will be dealing with clients and various emotional and other issues. So to me, wellness means we are able to be present. So in that sense, the dipstick can be that, am I present now here in whole? So presence in every moment is a check or a barometer for wellness.
Great. Presence is a barometer for wellness is a great point, and presence, by the way, is also coaching competency, and we keep quoting Marcia here, saying that it's our deepening presence that is truly mastery in coaching.
Mm.
Uh, so, apart from presence, right? I'll quickly give my personal thing, PK. You just asked me when I logged in, are you in Bangalore? So a lot of travel and some other developments at the personal level. I can share. We lost the senior most relative in our family just on Sunday. Right, somebody with whom I am personally close, and cousins are closer. So these are things that is very very normal, very real in our personal lives. So even when you wanted me to be on the call, I said not me. The first reaction, right? Definitely not as a guest. So as coaches, we are aware of the need for the presence, but how do we still uh, build that muscle to bring in that presence at 360 degree, or presence at all levels of existence, or presence at all koshas, right? Uh, what do
Yeah.
we need to do to bring that presence?
See, it's a good question, and how do we do that? And it might vary from person to person, but the point is that we need to get it on our side.
Yes.
Practicing wellness is an integral part of being a professional coach, according to me. It's a very, very integral part of bouncing back each day, cognitively, physically, mentally, emotionally. And life situations are there. Even as a professional coach, our work related aspects are there. So it's extremely important that we are present daily basis on a long term. So you asked how we could do that, and some of the things that probably has worked for me or which I practice is eating right, in terms of nutrition, in terms of taste, having some mindfulness activities on a consistent basis, such as meditation, yeah, and doing some physical exercises, walking, yoga, and taking breaks within the day, even, yeah, within the day, just to unplug, and creating an ergonomic workspace. The space from which we work, especially after pandemic, we have all been used to virtual meets and virtual conference calls and things like that. So it's important that we organize our workspace in an ergonomic way, so that there is no fatigue and there is no physical effort, even unknowingly, unconsciously, I'm saying. And these are some of the things that we can practice, and a healthy work culture for us, not overdoing anything. At the same time, it's like a tension on a bow and arrow, you mean, so unless there is an adequate tension, the arrow doesn't move forward. And if there is too much tension, you know what happens. So creating a work culture that is healthy according to our own persona, our own physical, mental, situation. Choosing an appropriate clothing, very important, in terms of being at ease, and clothing especially contributes to overall wellness in its own way. And we need to be comfortable at the same time. It needs to be healthy. And one thing, Subash, we might forget is that the social need, as coaches, we may be in a lonely space most of the time. So it's very important that socially we get the coordinates right, so that we get that part of wellness addressed, with awareness consciously. And taking some time off every now and then. For me, it is travel, chasing heritage, chasing nature, writing about it, so all those things are for me part of my overall wellness. So for people, it could be reading, it could be writing, listening to favorite music, or even sing yourself if you can. Yeah, I think I think this needs to be deliberate. So what I was trying to say is that, Subash, practicing wellness needs to be deliberate.
Intentional and deliberate. Yeah. So physical, that is food and exercise. Mental, the culture. Emotional, taking those breaks, and the hobbies. For those listeners who are not aware, PK's the other side, the traveler part of PK, touring with PK. Check it out. It's a fascinating space, touring with PK, and there's wealth of information there, and a lot of effort has gone into it. Yeah, I know your travel thing. Yeah, and I heard recently. I read Marcia again. She says even creative rest is required. All these contribute to sound sleep. Yeah. What also comes to me additionally, PK, is maybe you said mindful practices, mindful or spiritual practices definitely help. And also, some day-to-day hobby, like while you said about taking breaks and music, listening to music or singing, something that is intentional on daily basis. What I would also add is, my favorite reflective journaling on a daily basis. So nothing is a coincidence. I had one of my mentees, 2-3 years ago, she had done a program, reach out to me. Someone who, immediately took to journaling every day. So much so that she would go around with the journal in her bag. She said, whenever I find time, I'll just sit and write. So I asked her today, are you still maintaining that journaling? Because I keep quoting you. But she smiled and said, not daily, but yeah, quite regular. So journaling, reflective journaling is another thing that comes to my mind. Yeah, but nothing beats the physical wellness, right? Whether it is food, nutrition, exercise, and I've seen you keep just at the drop of the hat, you love to walk, right? And I've
Yeah.
seen you take breaks during the day. Yeah. Uh, you know, from your you interact with coaches, you mentor them, you also connect with a lot of us as friends, right? What are some of the things that we don't do well in terms of getting that wellness right? Because again, for the benefit of listeners, PK, I hold in that space that he's very balanced in everything. So PK is eminently, capable of sharing, or sharing his perspective on this question. What are the common mistakes coaches make that take them away from, that peak wellness at every point of time?
Sure. I think, coaches are not from another planet. So they also probably have the similar uh, challenges that any average or any common person, let me put it that way, faces. And first and foremost is consistency. It's like brushing your teeth. I mean, if you don't do one day, it stings. But for some reason, we pass many things that we seemingly want to do, right? So where is it reflecting on? Is it on intent? Not necessarily on intent. Is it that we are not committed enough? Probably yes, because that is where I think most of us have an opportunity to do better. Essentially, it's about consistency, and it's about creating that space intentionally, deliberately. So being conscious, so moving away from compulsions to a conscious living, and essentially it means that. And the challenge is, how conscious we are, and how indulging we are on the other side, or how compulsive we are to the prompts and to the external, triggers. So therefore, I would say mostly the improvement potential is chasing consistency.
And we enable our clients to move into a space of deeper self-awareness. Right? Self-awareness is integral to what we do as professional coaches.
True.
So, what makes us coaches not being aware enough to be intentional and take that? And we are human. Yes, we are human. But at the same time, are we? Can we really escape into that? After all, we are humans. No, something that we often hear, especially from our clients. So, still at a deeper level, right? Is there anything else that prevents us from doing? I mean, many of us, including me, very closely. Consistency, discipline, I agree, absolutely spot on. What else?
Subash, it might sound quite ironic, but are we present?
Hmm.
Somehow we learn that as a competency, a coach needs to be present, CC5.
Hmm.
But are we present? Because that could be what the presence does, is that it makes you conscious. You are no more compulsive. When you are
Hmm.
present, you are not compulsive. You
Hmm.
don't react, and very very rarely you react. So that means you are conscious, and when you are conscious, you are likely to be present in the available moment. So at a deeper level, I would say as coaches we are blessed to know the relevance of blessing, presence, and we have technically learned the presence, but I think we can practice it. That is one. See, this is like fitness for a sports person.
Hmm.
Wellness for us is like fitness for a sports person. And if we are aware of it, if we are conscious of it, why wouldn't we put emphasis on our wellness? And when we put consciously effort or to practice wellness, that is when we are becoming present. This is my experience. This is my learning, that whenever I am well, I am not disturbed. And being a mind, you mentioned, after all, we are humans. Actually, we are humans.
Absolutely.
I think any other species in the world cannot be conscious, cannot be as much aware as us. So is it a handicap or is it an enablement? So I think being human is fantastic, and that's not a handicap, according to me. So the point is that, are we aware really, or is it a lip service that we are doing? We are all WIP in this process. We are all work in progress, at different coordinates, that's all. So how do we move our coordinate, which we all can? And simplest way is to practice presence. And if you are not able to be present, then somewhere your wellness, either physical or mental or emotional, or at the energy, spiritual level, or financial wellness, or social wellness, somewhere something is out of balance. And that could be an indication or a symptom. If I am able to be absolutely present in every moment, I think wellness is, according to me, is taken care. And this is like a sports person. If he can play any shot in the middle, he is fit.
Beautifully said. Yeah. The metaphor of a sports person, and also something that is a common interest, the inner game. You can tap into the inner game only if you're managing that wellness. Yeah. Also tap into the intuition only if you're truly at a peak fitness. And some of great sports people are great examples also. What
Yeah,
also
Virat.
additionally came,
Yeah, a
Virat
couple of
Kohli, yeah.
names, Virat Kohli or Dhoni. See, they are all great examples of fitness. As much as they are putting effort into the craft,
Yes,
they are putting effort into the fitness.
yes.
And so are the tennis players, and so are many other people. I mean, if you are not fit, you can't play. I mean, it is as serious as that. And as a coach, we need to take this seriously. Our wellness is determining the outcome or future for another life.
Beautiful. Thanks, Shweta and Vivek, for such great engagement. We have a question, PK, from Ajit. Thanks, Ajit, for the question. How can we measure presence and wellness?
Presence, if you are there, you are present. It's very simple. And who can measure that? No, generally we can measure better than anyone else.
Yeah.
And wellness, yeah, like me, I said earlier, if you are able to be present without effort in every moment wholly, I think wellness to a large extent is a tick.
Ajit, I hope that answers a bit, something for you to build on. Yeah, again, a thought that came to me about presence is also then, are you able to listen at the typical fourth level of listening? Generative listening that Otto Scharmer speaks of, where you're listening to the environment, at the same time, you are fully there, fully present for the client at all levels. Yeah. Uh, less than 20 seconds, 30 seconds left, PK. So,
Yeah,
if you were to give
Subash,
one
you were
piece of
saying,
advice,
yeah, you were asking something before, a while ago, when I interrupted you, Subash. Was it still relevant, or?
no, I think I lost it. Yes.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. No problem. We covered. Thanks, Murli, for joining. Good to see you. Thanks, Ajit. Ajit confirms. Yes, thanks. Yeah. What are the signs you can be wary of and to be taken care of? Very good question, Shweta. What are the signs that you can be wary of and take care of?
Yeah, I feel I don't think we need to be wary of anything, because anything is changeable. As being human, we probably have the capability to change anything. So we need not be wary of anything. We need to be aware of few things. And if we take a look at our emotional being, our physical being, and fitness and health, wellness and health, again, not wellness is not something that the clinical report shows. Wellness is something also what you feel inside, especially the mental, emotional, and energy level wellness. So therefore, I wouldn't give too much attention to being afraid of, being wary of anything. But if something shows up and something is preventing you from being present in every moment, not only when coaching, then probably you could reflect yourself what is coming on the way.
Great. Thanks, Shrita. There's a question from Murali. How can we bring the inner game intact amidst the VUCA world? The distraction of the VUCA world, how do we maintain the inner game?
Inner game is required only because it is VUCA. Otherwise, if everything was predictable, why would that be important? So inner game is preparing oneself, or reducing the noise, or getting to ease. So I think the VUCA world is essentially bringing the inner game into prominence. So how do we bring? By practice, by being present, by conscious practice, and also working on the craft. Nothing like working on the craft, so we need to be absolutely the best in terms of the craft. Because if you are quite confident about the coaching competencies, and you are familiar, and it is your second nature, then the inner game has a better chance to be at it. Because otherwise you will be always nervous if you are not confident about the craft.
Beautifully said. So mastery is mastery on the craft. I mean, whatever it takes us to build that muscle, just the depth of coaching, which again goes to coaching CC number 2, embodying coaching mindset. Yeah, and then what also came to me was the VUCA world, Murli, is a reflection of the outer game within us. I'm trying to articulate. We have inner game and outer game within us. That VUCA world externally is just that expression of the outer game within us. So we have a choice to move from that self one to self two, or move from that outer game to inner game. And I think that's the journey a coach gets trained to move into. That state of consciousness, that state of awareness. Yeah, we are well over 20 minutes. So last question to you, PK. If you were to give one piece of advice for practicing coaches, all of us, on building that wellness, what would be that one advice?
See, all of us have our own interest. I won't call it an advice or something, but still all of us have some interest in somewhere. Dust it, nurture it, and maintain it consistently.
Thank you, PK. Thank you for joining. Very interesting session. Thanks for all participants who are engaging. See you next week, next Thursday, same time, 9 p.m. India time. And stay well. Take care. Do all it takes to take care of yourself. Nurture your soul. The hobby, the point that PK made towards the end: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, at all levels. Yeah. And keep coaching. You're not just human, you are human. It's a capital H.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, PK. Great. Once again. Yeah, absolutely fantastic session. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Anju. Bye-bye.
Thank you.